Darkcast Network. The light shines brightest on our indie podcasts.
Warning. The following podcast may occasionally contain strong language and material that is not suitable for all ages. If you are easily offended, it is highly advised that you turn back now. However, if you're a degenerate, welcome, brethren. You've found your home.
Welcome to the Crime Diner. We are a Jersey podcast, and on the menu is a variety of true crime, cults, mysteries, historical hilarities, and sometimes victim stories. We do this within a Dinner with Friends theme. I'm Nydia.
I'm Dana.
I'm Cindy.
Last week, I told you a story of an immigrant family attaining the American dream and turning it into the American nightmare.
Yeah, you certainly did.
Yeah.
And I'm not very happy about not knowing the truth.
Well, the truth, according to the courts, was revealed.
Court's smart. You know how I feel about the court.
Yeah.
Abort
I mean,
the court.
there was definitely some reasonable doubt. Like a lot
bitch.
of it.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Innocent people don't steal money. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. No, I would say this. Innocent people don't disappear.
Right. With
off the
hundreds
face
of thousands of dollars. Yeah, right.
With the money of a dead person.
Correct.
And
a fair reassessment of money. Yeah.
It's a whodunit with a possible open-ended mystery.
Hate it.
So it's a story of losing it all for love.
Love is not what I would call it.
If she did it...
Lust.
No. If she did it... Because she lost everything.
Oh, the wife, you mean? Yeah.
If she did it... Like, I would have to say that it was a crime of passion, right?
Yeah. I meant the husband and his
but
lust.
But dude, I don't know. Yeah, well, he was he's a victim. I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Yeah.
Anywho.
This week, we are talking about exorcisms.
My favorite kind of exercise.
Exactly. That's all I'm going to tell you for now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Dana's going to tell us this, but first, the food. Let us pray. Bless us, O patrons, for these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy donations through Patreon every month under the power of the V Podcast.
Cult.
Oh, shit.
Oh, these smell sweet, yet savory at the same time.
I hope so.
They are not sweet, but they are definitely savory. Chicken pot pies.
Yay!
There's definitely peas in it.
That's okay.
An ode to split pea soup, per se. Which
really?
Danny tried to say when she heard the theme. She's like, oh, you've got to make split pea soup. And I was like, absolutely not.
No one would have been happy about that.
I wouldn't have been mad because I love a good fucking pun.
No.
I've got to say, okay, on
Exorcism, split pea soup. I would have eaten that.
I would have been so mad
with
about
a smile on my face.
Well, Danny's my wife. She loves split pea soup.
You have a wife?
I have a wife. And
You'll talk about her every week?
every week. Well, if you're
She
first
cooks
time
half the
listening,
meals, so...
fuck off.
She's a silent partner.
Yeah, she really is a silent partner, not so silent. So she was like, split pea soup. And I was like, no. So I added peas to it, to the pot pies. Because the last time I made split pea soup, the first and last time, was horrendous. The flavor was good, but the texture was
that's why it's gross.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's
and I
always
will
like that.
never make it again because it was just like terrible. She loves split pea soup, and she'll just have to buy it somewhere else.
Ew, I don't even know where you would buy it because it's like the grossest thing.
I greedily grabbed one of these pot pies, and you did not give a warning how hot
Good,
the
that's what you get
pan
because
is.
the storyteller goes first. That's what you get for grabbing one.
Go ahead. I haven't eaten it. I just placed it.
I am going to grab the spoons and hand you spoons.
All right, let's go.
Dana, feel free to grab whichever
Oh, thank you
one
so
you like.
much.
I feel like y'all stuffed yourselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That shit.
That was good.
The last three
And this
meals,
drink is just starting to taste better.
not for nothing, but the last 4 meals that I brought y'all have been scraping the
Why are you
plate.
gagging so? She brings it to us every week.
I'm assuming y'all are doing some kind of rude shit.
All right.
What do you think about pot pies?
I mean, Dude, Cindy has been fucking bringing her
With the 1-2, bitch. With the 1-2.
for the last,
dinner, dessert.
I would have to say 3 weeks. For the
3,
last
4,
3
yeah.
fucking meals. Oh my God. Cindy and sometimes Danny, they've been bringing it.
Yeah. Killing it.
Yeah.
I fucking love pot pies. They're very, like, nostalgia to me. Like, I don't know if we talked about it on this podcast, but I feel like I've talked about banquet pot pies, like, recently or somewhere.
I
But
want to say we talked about it
we
on
talked
Patreon.
about, like, a long time ago, right? Where my dad used to, like, you know, you have to, like, poke it with a knife so that, like, the air can come out when you cook it in the oven
I
or whatever.
never had a banquet pot pie.
Oh, they're like $1. And it's like,
Not
it's like
anymore.
poor people food. No, they're still like $1.
No.
Bitch, trust me. They are.
Well, she goes to the dollar store. It's $1.25 now.
They're like the little ones, the real small, like little cheapo ones.
Okay.
Anyway, you have to like poke them with a knife so that the steam comes out as they cook. But my dad used to like carve our names in them.
Stop.
So that like when they would cook, you would know like this one was for Tabby and this one was for Dana. Like, and it was just like it
how
just so
cute.
like
He's honestly the daddiest dad that
he's
ever dadded.
a very dad. Yeah, yeah. He likes his like New Balance and his tall socks. Yeah, he's a dad. They're tied extra tight.
Yeah. Double looped.
Yeah, right. What do you think about this drink?
You know what's growing on me?
Growing on you? Yeah, you poo-pooed it in the beginning.
I did poo-poo it in the beginning, but now it's like, isn't that every drink that I have though?
Sometimes it smells like tequila.
What is
There is
this?
tequila in it?
There is
Bitch.
tequila in it.
I thought it was wine. What is it?
It's called the Exorcist.
Perfect.
Oh, why are we having, what's in this, first of all, this drink?
So this is called the Exorcist, Dana's story.
Uh-huh.
It's tequila, simple syrup, lime juice, and a splash of wine. Red wine, specifically.
A splash of red wine. Okay, so yeah, you can, it's tequila forward, certainly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know,
And
I don't follow the recipe as much as I just pour the drink in.
And she was 45 minutes late today, so you know she was just like, bloop, 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 like into the pot.
Mostly because I completely forgot that I had to come up with a drink and I had to find one quickly.
I think I found a nail clipping and hair in mine.
I wasn't sure if I was like having a residual tequila taste from the shot that we had because Nydia brought us terrible tequila that we've been stuck with for the last couple of weeks.
Let me tell you about that terrible tequila. All right. It was $55.
Money can't buy you class.
It came in a beautiful bottle and a metal label. It had a metal
With a
label.
pun.
And it was called Only Juan.
Number one.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Number one. And I saw it and it had an aura behind it.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. All right. So the Patron was 54.
Ugh.
This one was 55. And I was like, okay, for $1 more, I could have a fucking tequila shot and a pun.
And a pun every week.
I mean,
I don't know why you're gagging so.
it tastes like liquid Drano.
Yeah.
And now you know, puns do not make good tequila.
It's the one time a pun will fail you.
It's a marketing ploy.
Marketing genius.
I was fucking duped.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Now, this tequila is actually a tequila blanco by Suerte Tequila, which is a very popular Mexican tequila. Very, very good. Obviously, all tequila is from Mexico, but very, very popular.
Now, would you like to describe your thought process behind chicken pot pies?
It's stuffed with something else. It's a meal that's hiding something within it.
Oh. Okay.
Much like possessed people.
Oh. Okay, I got it.
You got it?
Chicken pot possessed.
That's right. Possessed pot pie.
That's
if
right.
you will.
All right.
Yeah.
Got it.
I love it. I'm here for it. I'm definitely having one of those extra ones left over.
So am
That's
I.
staying with me. Sorry about it.
Let me just tell you that last week I brought home an extra dessert. And I had every intention of eating the whole damn thing. Mm-hmm. And then I walked in and I saw Russ and his 2 little boys.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
That's straight to the pantry, bitch.
I gotta do them a kindness.
Nah, fuck that.
And I shared that cone. And they were they were like clapping, standing ovation.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I didn't get to eat it.
Wow. That feels like some saintly shit if I ever heard of it.
Listen, I try to do my part.
I ate my second one before you even your smoke cloud exited the building. I fucking finished the second one.
I want to like put it out there in the universe that Cindy must make that again.
She already did. She made it for guests yesterday.
Did they
I
love
did.
it?
They loved it. They cleared it out.
It was so
like
good.
gone.
Yeah.
I can't wait for dessert today.
That's going to probably be...
disappointing.
No. No, I meant last week's dessert. Like, top 3 desserts. Absolutely.
It's the ones to beat, honestly.
Yeah, certainly.
It was very similar to the strawberry tres leche that I had made that had the similar.
Which you ruined it with the tres leches. So, yeah.
Not for me, she didn't.
As you know...
Oh, what do I know?
My kitchen got finished a couple of weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
And so everything had been in boxes and like in piles in my house, and things were just everywhere for a long time. And I'm sort of starting to finally unpack things and hang things back on the wall. And like, it just really was this chaotic nightmare for this whole time.
7 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Wait, 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. It's been since, February.
Okay, 8 months.
That being said, I hung up some shelves yesterday, and I have this like picture wall that I do that's like really cute. I wasn't really sure what to do. Anyway, so I had some errands to run. Cindy offered me some old picture frames that she had from her years of photography and whatnot.
Nice.
So I went over to Cindy's, got some picture frames, and then I was talking to a friend, just out running errands, and she said, oh, do you want to meet us for pizza? I'm like, well, I think I want to run to the mall because I'm like, I want to find some like witchy shit. I had an idea for my picture wall. I didn't really know, but I want to like hang some like just like trinkets along with the pictures to like break up,
To show your personality.
Yes, my basic bitchness of it all.
No, you are not a basic bitch.
Okay, good.
Definitely a hippie.
You're a witchy hippie.
Oh, I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Because that's the aesthetic I was going for. And so I said, well, I might be going to the mall. She's like, well, I'll just meet you there. And we'll just eat in the food court. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Wait a minute, put a paperclip in there.
Yeah.
You're a witchy hippie, so what's Cindy and what am I?
Well, we already know that you're a basic bitch with your Uggs and your pumpkin spice.
You're the definition of basic bitch.
Yeah, really.
But I'm Puerto Rican, I can't be a basic
Oh,
bitch.
sweetie. Accept
It's
it.
fine, babe.
Am I a basic
Yeah, a little bit.
Quite.
Yeah, babe. It's fine. You, like, really embody it. You're a well-rounded basic bitch.
A well-rounded basic
Yeah.
bitch. What about Cindy?
You're super cute. You, like...
She really does.
Yeah,
own
you just...
that basic
You nail
bitch
it, yeah.
shit.
But I don't wear a hat.
You literally were like, I need a hat right now to do this TikTok.
No, but I wear a baseball cap.
Yeah.
But I don't wear, like, the fedora or, like, the...
Right, but
I think you would, depending on the outfit and what you're doing.
No, I'm not a hat person. I'm a baseball cap
Yes, but
person.
I see basic bitches wearing hats.
And scarves.
With scarves and, like maybe Chuck Taylors, like the low... like cute ones or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like that's very like basic bitchy. I could see you
Okay.
really
I'll
in
accept
that.
it.
Yeah.
I'm a basic bitch.
Yeah, you're fine. I think it's fine.
Cindy.
Cindy. What is Cindy? Cindy is a little creative, right?
Uh-huh.
She is a little basic too, but not like terrible basic. Not that basic is terrible, but
No, yeah.
sometimes it can be obnoxious. Not on you. I think you're nailing it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
But Cindy, like, comes off to me as, like, kind of, like, a little smart, a little, like, almost a little hoity-toity, but not in a mean way. She's, like, a little bit like a smarty pants. She, like, is, like, very, like, type A, like, gets our shit done.
Yeah.
Like, takes care of it. She, like, mothers us a little bit,
Yeah.
As far as her aesthetic, though, yeah, I don't know, because she's, like, got these super cool, like, prints and shit that she took on her wall, and they're like all in black and white.
I
It's
see
like,
Cindy
yeah, it's good.
as a Stepford wife. I do.
I don't know about
She
that.
wears the 1950s dresses.
Right, she's got the
style.
like, yeah, she wears these, like, currently she's wearing like a dress. Is it a dress or pants? Like,
It is a
pantsuit.
dress.
It's a dress with like pineapples all over it, and she's got these like vaguely like cat eye glasses on. She's got like the real red Betsy Johnson. Right, okay, so
Right,
she's
yeah.
like, yeah, she's there. She's not a basic bitch, but she's like a funky bitch. That's what you are. Like, you're a little funky, a little smart, not quite like off the
Kind
wall.
of my own.
Yeah, you are. Smitty didn't like that.
I don't know. know. My style is very classic. I don't follow
Classic
trends.
is classic,
Definitely
yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't follow trends.
But Cindy can sometimes pull that classic. Like, she'll come in here in, like, this fucking A skirt with, like, I don't know what they are, but, like, you know, the dress with
No,
the...
I know what
what's
Cindy
that
is.
called?
I know what Cindy is. Cindy's a retro bitch.
Retro. To a point, yeah.
Yeah.
To a point. You're very multifaceted, friend.
I can definitely wear a fedora with my
Yeah.
outfits.
No,
and then
you know what
throw-
Cindy is? A fucking femme bitch.
She is very feminine.
She's the girliest of the two
Absolutely,
of us. Of the three of
100%.
us, she's the girliest.
And you can count. Great job. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I don't even think I was considered in girliness equation. because-
No.
But anyway, so my point is I had to go to the mall. All of that because I wanted to get some things, some decor, if you will.
Right.
I was meeting a friend at the food court. She ended up having to leave. So I had already ordered my sushi.
Okay.
I got mall sushi because I'm also a basic bitch.
Honestly, I heard that mall sushi
It
place
is that
awesome.
It is. That was the first sushi I've ever had. Their sushi is actually very good. But anyway, so I ate the sushi by myself and I was thinking like, damn, I'm really glad that like I've gotten to a place that I can do things by myself because that would have thrown me for a loop probably a long time
Right.
ago. I probably wouldn't have eaten. You know what I mean? Or I would have just got it to go and taken it. Would just left the mall. You
and
know?
sat in your car alone.
Yeah, and just like it really threw me for a loop. So then I'm like, well, I'm already here. I'm gonna go to the little store and go check some stuff out. And so I picked a couple things out and I go to check out. And they're like, oh, are you here for our bag event? And I was like, no, I don't even know what that means. And she's like, oh, if you spend $50, you get this free bag and you can pick 5 things to go into the bag. And you get a $50 gift card. So I got a $50 gift card back after I spent $50. And she was like, also, we're doing a crystal reading. Would you like to have one? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, definitely I want to have one.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. So I sit down, I get all my little gifts and all my things and my gift card. I sit down. She's like, pick 3 stones, pick 3 crystals. So I pick them and I like put them on this circle thing that has like a palm, a palm on it.
Okay.
It was like glass mirrored and like it sort of like spins once you put the crystals on just a little bit. It just like rocks back and forth. First she explains that like when you pick clear crystals, like the clearer or lighter colored crystals that you pick mean like that's work you need or want to do for yourself.
Okay.
And when you pick like dark or like really opaque crystals, that's work or like need you want to do for other people.
Okay.
So of course I had picked all clear crystals, like very clear crystals.
Okay.
So then she just like goes on to explain like what each one means and like how I'm like literally she was saying stuff to me that I just said to my therapist last week, like how I'm affected by other people's moods and I wish I wasn't so much. And she was explaining to me how I can like learn to protect myself from that. And like then she was saying like your heart chakra feels like, well, she was talking about chakras and stuff. So she was basically being like, I'm not saying your heart chakra is like totally closed or like damaged, but like it certainly feels closed off and you have to work on that. Because I was saying that like I had been saying in therapy that like I do things for people sometimes. It seems to me that it kind of weirds people out a little bit. Or not everybody. This is like solely about dating. This is not about like friendship and stuff. Like I haven't established like friendship that I have with my people and whatever, the people that know me. But like new people, it seems that I don't know what I'm saying. But it seems like the last couple of times that I've like dated people, like I've been nice to them and then they're like, this is too much. Like, why are you being this way? Why are you being nice? And like, trust me, I do the same thing when people are nice to me. Like
Right.
it freaks you out when you've been treated like shit for a long time or like you haven't had healthy relationships in the past. So like when someone's nice to you, it's like weird. So I was saying to my therapist, like, I would love to like tone that down a bit. And my therapist was like, definitely no. Be who you are and like the right person will come along. And the therapist, the crystal lady was like, no, like definitely don't do that. Like it's so important that you like nurture that light and like the right people will come to you and like whatever. And so I was just like, damn, it really feels like with that tarot reading and like and that was like sort of thrown upon me as well, which I know we didn't really talk about on this podcast, but on Patreon we did, that I like had this very powerful tarot reading the other day. And then this happened that like I wasn't even supposed to be in the mall yesterday. Like I was going to go to Ross and Marshall's and like I wasn't even going to go to the mall. And I met my friend for lunch who I didn't even get to have lunch with. And it's just like the universe, it feels like the universe is like beating me over the head with these messages of like, be you, do you, like, stay true to, like, who you are. Everything will work itself out. It's just been this weird, nice thing that keeps happening to me.
Yeah, but, like, you know what? Like, so many of us, like, we try to be somebody else, to cater to somebody else.
Absolutely.
But really, like, if you're not yourself...
Yeah, you can't maintain it.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't maintain it. And also, like, you just gotta be yourself so that things that pertain to you come to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that whatever is truly yours comes to you because it belongs to you. Because if you're pretending to be somebody else, what's coming to you really isn't for you.
So,
it's
like,
for this pretend person. You know?
What's hard for me, if you'd like to be part of my therapy session, what's hard for me is I feel like I can be too much. Okay, I'm like too much for people. And, like, this brings me back to, like, and this is what I, like, boiled it down to in therapy, is when I was a little kid, right? I was the only kid. My parents had me very young, and they were, like, had a bunch of cool friends that were, like, young still. And so they would, like, party and do whatever, and I just, like, wanted to be around them. I thought it was, like, so cool. And I was annoying. I was, like, I talked too much. I was too loud. I was, like, jumping on everyone and just being too much, you know?
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, oh my God, show everybody how long you can do a headstand. And just leave me in the corner upside down for, like, and I would do it forever. Like, I'd be leaning up against the wall. And, like, you know, all the blood rushing to my head. I'd stay that way for 20 minutes until someone else came along and was like, that's probably not a good idea. And, like, so it's just, like, people have always been, like, quiet, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too whatever.
You're a people pleaser.
Well, it also conditions you to be like, don't be too loud, or no one likes this, or it's too much, or it's too, you know, so it is hard for me to, like, break that conditioning I've had, you know, for so long.
It's so funny that we're friends because I am the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
I will be obnoxious even though you think it's too much.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was just going to say that if you're too much for that person, then that person is not meant for you.
Well, all of that is wonderful to hear. It's great to hear it from my friends, fantastic to hear it from my therapist, wonderful to hear it from a stranger reading my crystals in the mall. It just doesn't permeate my skull, or it hasn't yet. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a thing that I just have to keep being like, it's fine, you're fine. It's okay that you are who you are. Yeah. Like, it's fine, but it doesn't feel fine. It feels sad. It feels bad. It feels
Why don't
hard.
You try to just admit it? You know what I mean? Like, I used to be, like, really socially awkward.
Yeah.
You know, like, in the sense of, like, somebody would come in with, like, I would come in with a handshake, they would come in with a hug.
Oh,
and
I
it'd
hate
be, like,
that,
really
yeah.
awkward.
Yeah.
Or I would say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, and I would try to act intellectual around people. And it would always make me feel really uncomfortable, right?
Sure.
When I started to say, ooh, this is uncomfortable, like, oh, ouch. You feel that? You know what I mean? Like, ooh, you know what I mean?
I mean,
once
like,
I started to acknowledge the awkwardness of it,
yeah.
like, I feel like...
I think it's, like, most of it's fine, right? It's when I start getting into, like, relationships with people where I'm trying to establish new relationships with, like, people I like or people I care about or whatever. And, you know, it's learning that balance of being like, oh, this person is not for me. That's okay. So then I leave them all like love and light, you know, love and light.
Listen.
Yeah. And I'm
beautiful.
Yeah. Having a great day. So I come back here, I do my picture frames, I'm doing all these things. And then I remembered that I had paper that I wanted to use that was in the garage. But my garage is like my son had taken beach chairs and some things over the summer, and when he went to go back to school, he just threw them in the garage. So the garage is like all a fucking mess. Yeah. So like literally it just needs to all be pulled out, and I gotta like organize it again. It will just take me an afternoon. It won't be this big thing, but the thing I wanted to get to is blocked by a bunch of shit.
Isn't that a life
signal? It's so annoying. So I'm like, here are my two options.
Okay.
Pull out my bicycle, which is easy. Move a bunch of like garden tools. Less easy, but doable. Pull out the grill, and then the drawer into the dresser that I need to get to should be accessible. What did I do? I stood on my bike. I climbed over the grill. I hung over the edge, pulled the dresser like 3 inches open because that's as far as it would go because everything was blocking it. Realized that the thing I needed was not in the dresser. It was on top of the dresser, so I didn't need to do that anyway. grabbed it as I was climbing a bike that is like up on this thing, fell, and it unplugged my garage door opener. Okay. So, which I didn't realize when the bike fell. I didn't realize that. I climbed back down. I was like, whoa, that was scary. That was precarious. I go back in. I hit the garage door thing. Nothing. No sound. I'm like, fuck. So I was like, okay, I bet it got unplugged when whatever. So climbed on the bike, climbed on the grill. I had to climb over the grill this time to get onto the dresser because now the plug is like coming from the ceiling, you know, where the garage door is.
Yeah.
I'm like, where the fuck does it get plugged into? Because I couldn't even see the other side.
It's an outlet in your ceiling.
Well, it's not. It's like on the wall and there's like an extension cord. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I could see the cord, but I couldn't see where the fuck it was coming from.
Right.
Came in the house to look for another extension cord. I couldn't find one. So I was like, I have to go to Lowe's. Go to Lowe's, come back, climb on the bike, climb on the grill, climb on the dresser, get up there. And I'm like, I don't even know where the fucking outlet is coming from. So I had to stand on one foot, lean all the way over to figure out where the outlet is, which I found it. And I realized, oh, there is an extension cord there. So I had to just like fish it out. And I plugged the thing back in, climbed back down, off the bicycle, off the grill, back into the house, and closed the thing. And I was sweating so bad. The amount of times I climbed on the first time I did it barefoot, because I was like not expecting to do all that shit. The second time I did it with flip-flops.
Oh, yeah. I mean, OSHA.
Probably
It's the OSHA recommendation. Yeah.
It was worse because it felt less secure.
You basically did the hoarder hike.
I was like, what is wrong with you? So I made like a post on Facebook because I was just like, you're going to die doing this.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to die. This is the way I always say I'm going to die, by like touching a fish in the water that I shouldn't be touching. It's definitely going to be climbing on. I keep forgetting that I'm old. I used to climb up on shit all the time and it was like not a big deal. Now like I'll get up on something fine. And then I'll be like, fuck, you gotta get down from here, bitch. How'd you get up there?
My mom used to do that a lot, that kind of stuff. And she used to work in a school. So she was doing some stuff for the students and putting stuff on the walls for the students. And of course, instead of grabbing what she should grab, like a little step stool, she would stand on top of the desk.
Yeah.
Students are not that safe.
Yeah.
And she fell, and her whole side of her leg was black and blue for like a month.
That's going to have to happen to me before I learn my lesson, I think.
Or not. But you did do the safety thing. You put flip-flops on.
Well, the only reason I had flip-flops on is because I had to go to Lowe's. I like threw flip-flops on to go to Lowe's.
Well, I mean, this has been Garage Talk with Dana Levin.
Yeah. Also, that's still not my... You've been my friend for 10 years and you don't know what my last name is.
Levin. I also did a not-so-safe thing.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so lately... My mom has been talking about, I've been hanging around with my mom and stuff like that. We'll go to thrift stores and then we'll like buy a bunch of stupid crap and then we'll do like a fashion show at the house. It's
so
like
fun. Yeah.
It's fun. It's cheap. It's like a fucking fun thing, right? We'll do breakfast or lunch or whatever. So my mom watches a lot of videos and she's been on a Goodwill bins, like what I found at the bins, like videos, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I was like, all right, let's go to the bins. You know, let's do this. So we're driving up there. It's like a 42-minute drive or something. And we're like psyching ourselves up. Because I watched a lot of videos and they're like, don't make eye contact with the other people there.
Why?
Because there's some questionable folks. There's like a system to it. Wear gloves. We followed none of those rules, right? You know, wear comfortable shoes, blah, blah, blah. So we went and Mom, she was like... What the fuck is this? It's like, they bring out all these bins, right? It's like dumpster diving for treasures.
That is fucking hilarious.
So in between, like, you will find one shoe and like...
they're not like pairs?
Yeah, sometimes they're paired. Yeah.
Okay.
They're just dumped.
Now, sweet listener, you should know. Nydia's mom, if you think Nydia is like... I don't know what you think of Nydia, but Nydia's mom is a little bougie.
She's iconic, really.
She is. She's like, she's got great taste. She like is impeccably like put together. Like, I think so. Every time I've seen your mom, she's been like,
you didn't grow up with her.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, I mean, I went on vacation with her, and she was like poo-pooing a very nice resort. So like,
my mom is an enigma.
She was like, 4 stars. Fuck. I'll be at the casino.
Yeah,
Like, she was like very distraught.
Yeah.
So like I just couldn't imagine that woman. I mean, I don't know her well,
And
but
she's had a lot of plastic surgery.
I just couldn't imagine her digging in a bin.
Oh, yeah. She was in there and like, she's like, oh, I think this shirt would look good on you. And like, you know, she was like picking stuff for me and stuff. And she kept grabbing stuff for me and for everybody else. She doesn't like pick stuff for herself, right? But,
Okay, that makes more sense.
yeah. But like, she was like looking at, I think she was there like as a scientific thing. And she's like, I see what these people are doing. They're throwing everything in their carts and then they're standing back and they're
Smart,
like
yeah.
looking things up. And, she was just insane. Like, everybody split up. She thought she was gonna like find a holy grail out there. I don't know what that, but then she's like showing me, she's like, these shoes don't have a sole. It's literally just the uppers. Like, what do I want with one Ugg?
Oh, that sucks.
With one Ugg boot. So my sister found an Oscar de la Renta, like, freaking jacket or whatever. Like, she found some good stuff. But she
Yeah.
also, next to the Oscar de la Renta jacket, there was a fucking whole-ass tampon. Like, it's that kind of
like
place.
a used one?
Yes.
Bitch.
No, and I, like, I'm digging through it, and there's, like...
you didn't touch it by accident,
There's like
did you?
shorts with something that's like looks like dried encrusted poopy or something. Like now there's treasures to be had.
No.
But girl, you
simply
have
no.
to dig. There's puzzle pieces. There's fucking Legos. It's like if you just took trash and just put it together with like really good clothes and
That's so
some not so
bizarre.
really good clothes. Yeah.
Very strange.
So you'll find like a fucking great pair of shoes, but it'll be one. And then you have to wait
This
7
sounds
hours.
like hell.
Yeah.
This
and then
sounds like one of the
wait.
levels of Dante's Inferno or whatever the
Well,
fuck.
so what happens is you're there for an hour and you're picking through this trash, basically trash, right? And there's other people like elbowing you and whatever. And yeah, it's like yes, it's a lot of people just like free for all.
Yeah.
And then they'll like make an announcement and they'll tell you to like go check out. Everything that you buy is like $1 a pound or whatever. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you pay by the pound.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. And then so then they ask you to leave. They clean the whole place. You know, they mop the floors, disinfect the carts, and then they restock the bins.
Really?
Yes. And then they roll them out, and then they have you stand behind a yellow line, and then they say, okay.
They shoot a gun in the air?
No, they tell you the rules again. Then they have you walk in. If you run, they will kick you out. So you have to walk, grab your cart, go around the cash registers, and then go back and pin. And they do that every hour.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
It's obnoxious. And some people are there for the entire shift. From opening to closing.
Slightly Hunger Games-ish.
It really is slightly Hunger Games-ish.
Or like
yes.
Storage Wars or something.
Oh, it's insane.
Oh, this is
It was
fascinating.
so fucking funny. I got 28 pounds of clothes and shoes and stuff for $28.
Oh my god.
And like I got some good stuff,
Okay.
but girl, it's like enter at your own goddamn risk. My niece couldn't take it. She had to go wait in the car.
I couldn't
She was
imagine.
like, I'm nauseous.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And you have people like fucking grabbing shit right out of your hands. It was a lot.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I like your antiquing or like, going to estate sales.
I go to
That's fun,
estate
but-
sales. I like that. That's fun for me.
Yeah.
But you gotta be careful.
Digging in
'cause you can-
bins, no.
You can
that's not
turn
gonna
into
work.
a hoarder.
Yeah.
Very
I'm already
easily.
a hoarder, but I mean, I'm not terrible, but
No. I'm a very clean hoarder.
I have hoarder tendencies, certainly.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
yeah.
certainly.
So that's been hoarder talk. Let's have dessert.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, what's that?
It looks like a blueberry tart.
It's kind of a Danish. So it's cream cheese and blueberries with puff pastry with ground sugar caramelized on top.
Is that all you brought?
You mean yes?
Oh, okay, that works. I was like, are we
The
supposed
other
to
one was
share
covered.
that?
Let's go.
Yeah. How is it that I'm always the one to drink the most?
You're lush.
We've gathered you here today because we'd like to discuss with you.
That's not funny. I drink more because I feel like we're wasteful with our liquor.
Okay, That's not true.
We're letting this liquor go to waste.
No, first of all, you never let anything go to waste. Second of all, I don't like to drink while I eat, and Cindy can't drink while she eats. So you just happen to drink while you eat. I usually do finish my glass or get very close. But tonight I have to tell my story.
But while you're finishing your glass, I've already finished 2 or 3.
Well, I understand that, that's how it happens, but
okay.
I'm not mad at it. I think it's fine.
I'm upset.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm going to
about
quit
that.
drinking. Cold turkey.
Why don't you tell me how you feel about this dessert?
This dessert was very warm and gooey and like cheesy yet blueberry-ish and like with the freaking crunchy crust. Oh, so good.
And Cindy's been here over an hour, and the fact that it was still warm
Yeah.
was fantastic.
It was just a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It was cream cheesy, sweet, a
Ugh.
little tart,
But just the right amount of
a little
sweetness.
crunch with the sugar on top. Yeah, I could eat that every day.
It was almost like a hot blueberry Danish.
Yes.
Oh.
And not too much because, like, I know sometimes we're like, oh, if it's overly sweet or this one. It was like a good amount of sweetness. It was sweet, but not super sweet. And the blueberries were just like popping when you ate them.
This was sweet light.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was adult sweet.
And these are freshly picked Jersey blueberries.
Did you pick them?
Yes.
Why are you saying that? Because she's Hispanic?
Are you okay?
Tell me your story.
You want to hear them?
No, I'm
You don't
just
want to
here
hear
for
it?
I'm
All right.
just here for the banter.
I think you should leave.
Witchcraft, the occult, extremist beliefs, murder. Tune in to Rogue Darkness each Friday and join host Raven as I uncover horrific crimes committed under the misconceptions and misunderstandings of witchcraft and other belief systems. I'll cover a wide range of crimes involving ritualistic killings and extremist beliefs to cult persuasion and supposed possession. Anything and everything that borders the line of horrifying. There's always 3 sides to a story. Side A, Side B, and then the truth. Let's uncover the truth together and explore the darkness of mankind, one crime at a time. Available wherever you get your podcast fix, simply by searching Rogue Darkness.
Today I got my story from Wikipedia, realm.fm blog, thesomethingguy.co, dailyrecord.co, and mylondonnews.com, I guess. Okay, so an exorcism is the religious or spiritual practice of evicting demons or other spiritual entities from a person or an area that is believed to be possessed.
Okay.
Okay, right? We all know this, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the spiritual beliefs of the exorcist, this may be done by causing the entity to swear an oath, or performing an elaborate ritual, or simply commanding it to depart in the name of a higher power, right? It seems like
the power of the Lord compels you.
yes, the power of Christ compels you.
There you go. There you go.
It seems like most major religions that we're familiar with have some sort of exorcism ritual.
Really?
Which I was surprised by.
I thought that was just like a Christian thing.
No, yeah. Like almost, it seemed like even like Buddhism, Hinduism.
No,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, like all of them, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's what Wikipedia says.
There's not enough movies about those.
No, there certainly isn't. And you know how scholarly Wikipedia is, so.
I mean, it's all the scholars.
Yeah. When you think of exorcisms, we usually think of like scary movies with helpless victims and screaming in agony, puking green chunks, and like shit flying around the room, right? Many of these movies were actually inspired by true exorcisms or exorcisms that happened.
practiced.
Yeah. The Exorcist, for example, the case believed to have inspired that movie was The Exorcism of Robbie Mannheim.
Oh, it was a guy?
Yeah, a little boy, I think. 14 years old. They changed his name to Roland Doe while he was a child just to protect his identity. His aunt was dying, and before she passed away, she asked him to contact her via Ouija board after she passes. Like, she's like, make sure after I die that you, like...
Give me a call?
Yeah, right. And so he agrees, and after she passes, he accidentally opens a portal to the underworld and gets possessed.
Did Milton Bradley know what they were getting into
I don't think
when
they
made
did,
a Ouija
no.
board?
During his possession, ritual artifacts flew off the walls. There were unexplained noises, heavy steps and the sound of scratching, like on the wall, on the ceiling, on the floor.
Okay.
Eventually, the possession became so severe that the boy's speech began to change. He was speaking languages he didn't know in like this guttural, gritty voice, nothing like he'd ever spoken before. He levitated in the air, writhing around. He got like deep scratches on his body. Words and claw marks like appeared on his skin. That case was also believed to inspire a movie in the year 2000 called Possessed, which is more accurate to, I guess there was a book written about this case, and I think Possessed is a little bit more accurate to what actually happened than the Exorcist.
Really?
You know? Another famous one that you may know is the case of Annalise Michel. She was a 16-year-old girl with a history of epilepsy and mental illness. She had been initially receiving treatment at a local psychiatric hospital in 1973, but she had become suicidal. She refused to touch any religious artifacts and even began to hear voices. Annalise underwent roughly 70 exorcisms over 10 months and ultimately died in 1976 from, all of the exorcist rites and rituals that her family and priest had done to her.
Jesus.
She died of starvation, actually.
What?
Yeah. So it was believed that she was possessed by 6 demons, one of whom was said to be Hitler. This was portrayed in the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose. So some don't make it into movies, like the case of Clara Germana Seal. In 1906, 16-year-old Clara, an orphan in South America, supposedly made a pact with Satan. Days after making this pact, Clara experienced some typical signs of demonic possession. She grew physically repulsed by the sight of religious artifacts. She soon developed violent convulsions. She spoke in languages she'd never studied. She even knew information about her caretakers that was impossible to explain that she knew.
Wait a minute. Put a paperclip in your story. Have you ever tried to make a pact with Satan?
I have not. It's on my list of things to do, but I haven't done it.
Really?
I've been sort of toying. I have a list in my podcast notes of cases I might do. And I was thinking about doing...
an interview with Satan?
No, celebrities who have sold their soul to the devil. Like, there's like a whole list of like people.
Listen, Cindy, have you ever tried to sell your soul to the devil?
No.
Okay, so I have tried.
Of course you did.
And he's not fucking buying.
He's not having it?
Like, I was like, all
Soul's
right,
not
Satan,
that expensive, babe.
Let's negotiate.
Yeah.
Let's fucking negotiate. I'm ready to sell my soul.
Honestly, I gotta say, your soul is already his.
You already got it.
And thus,
he's like,
he does
giving
not
it for
need
fucking free.
He said bought and paid for, bitch.
He's like, I'm not paying for your soul. It's already mine. You gave it up already.
But I was like 8. How? Damn. He had a hold on me then? Jeesh.
So, priests attempt to perform an exorcism on her. One of the priests, she strangled him to death during the exorcism. 170 people witnessed her levitating. This was like a big thing in their village in South America.
Okay.
She levitated while they were reading scriptures, like over her body, like passages over her body. At the end of the exorcism, it was said that she was demon-free and she was forced, the demon had been forced from her body, and that she was healed. For 6 years, Clara lived a demonic, possession-free life.
I want a t-shirt that says that.
Demonic, possession-free life. You got it, kid. She felt ashamed for her behavior and tried to live a humble life, but she unexpectedly died 6 years later in 1912 from heart failure at age 22.
She wasn't tried for the choking of the priest?
No, because she was possessed.
Oh, okay.
Obviously. And
that's a good defense.
170 people witnessed
the levitation
and that she was possessed. So,
wow.
And I think she was, they were in like a little, it sounded like, of course this is just my assumptions, right? It sounded like they were in a little village and like they called her a Christian orphan, because I think that like, when like white people go into these villages and they minister or whatever they do down there, it sounds like that was the situation. Like she was an orphan in this tiny village, and like she was being raised by in an orphanage by like Christian white people, and they were the ones like doing the exorcism and the priests and shit. And so, yeah, if they all believed it, like there's no trial to be had. Like it was what it was,
Right.
All of that to say that I wanted to tell you today about the case of Kennedy Ife.
Oh, so we're not even into your story.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to like
that was
lead
the
up.
preamble.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kennedy Ife was a 26-year-old marketing IT consultant in North London in 2016.
Oh, like just a few years ago.
Just a few years ago.
Wow.
He came from a super religious family that was connected with the Jesus Sanctuary Ministries in Southeast London. So I don't know how big London is, but they're from North London and their church is in Southeast London. That feels pretty far away, but I don't know geographically what that means.
Right. That's a lot of London.
That's a whole lot of London. His father was a wealthy business consultant, Dr. Kenneth Ife, who was 64 at the time, and his wife was Josephine. She was 56. He had 5 brothers. Roy was 33, Harry was 32, Colin was 26, and there was twin brothers who were 20 named Daniel and Samuel.
That's unoriginal.
Yeah, so we don't have a ton of information about his life prior to the incident, as tends to happen with these sort of either really new cases or really sort of obscure. I don't necessarily call this obscure, but these like littler cases, it's hard to find
I never heard of it.
Yeah, information about their backstory, you know?
Right. Also, you would think, like, if you're the type of person that thinks of conspiracy theories, you're like, oh, the church tried to sweep that right under the rug.
Sure. And, you know, it's also one of those situations where every article is basically, like, regurgitating the same information, just worded differently. So, the exorcism takes place in their £1.3 million home where the family lives.
That's a heavy house.
It's a heavy house, yeah. What we do know is history is always left in the hands of the victor. Apparently his behavior became erratic on July 19th, 2016.
And how old was he?
26.
Okay.
He initially complained about pain in his throat, and he began to get, like, aggressive. He bit his father, and he threatened to cut off his own penis.
Oh, shit.
According to his brother Colin, Kennedy would rant about the mark of the beast, and he said 666. He said that there was a snake-like creature in his body before his family was able to detain him to a bed with very serious force and cable ties. So they, like, tied him to a bed. Instead of taking their son to a doctor, his mother, who the church referred to lovingly as Sister Joe, thought it was best to ask advice from the minister. What do we do here?
I would have been like, oh, my son has rabies.
I mean, at least.
Right?
At least rabies. Like, I mean, he's saying, you know, honestly, it sounds like he's having, like, a mental break. You know, there's snakes in his body. He's having religious.
He's at that age.
Yeah, right. He's right, you know, early 20s, you know, mid to early 20s.
Yeah.
So for the next 3 days, they detain him on and off. Tying him to the bed, and family and church officials pray over him. The family believed that the snake-like creature inside of him was a demon and not something of this world, and they were trying to get the snake out of him, you know, to kill the snake from inside of him.
Okay.
One of the brothers said that it was necessary to restrain Kennedy so he would not harm himself or the people trying to remove the demon. After 3 days of being held hostage, Kennedy started to complain of dehydration, as well as having difficulty breathing. Finally, one of Kenny's brothers decided that maybe it was time to call emergency medical services. But when EMS arrived at the scene, he was already deceased.
Oh my God.
His brother Colin attempted a resurrection through chanting and prayers over Kenny's body before it was removed.
So no CPR?
No. He called out, like, arise in the light of God, like, and that is reported by EMS. Like, EMS were like, what the fuck? All 7 of Kennedy's family members were accused of manslaughter, false imprisonment, and causing the death of a vulnerable adult, which they all denied responsibility.
Right, obviously.
A post-mortem examination revealed that Kennedy had over 60 wounds, including possible bite marks on his body.
Who did it to him?
Everyone.
They were biting him?
I mean, we don't know who bit him, yeah.
A fucking dog, because he had rabies.
No, it's his family was, like...
Biting him?
And his family, it was also reported that his family had a lot of, like, injuries on them as well. Like, obviously he was fighting, you know, back, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So this went on for, 3 days of them, like, tying him down, praying over him, holding him down, him probably fighting back. Like, well, obviously we don't have any detail because the people who know what happened are all the people that are being charged with what happened, you know?
Right. Yeah, but the autopsy
The autopsy shows that he
Right.
had 60 wounds, and some of those wounds were bite marks. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In a search of the home, police found a note on Josephine's bedside table about quote-unquote bewitching of the offspring. It stated, anyone who has a bewitched son or daughter, if you feel your son is under a spell, pick up the earth and throw it north, south, east, and west for 4 days. After, there will be an encounter. So it seems like they were trying to, like, perform an exorcism, like, do some sort of ritual, you know what I mean?
Okay. That sounds so silly.
Officers also retrieved an Adidas bag containing black handcuffs, cable ties, and wristbands, which the bag itself had appeared to be thrown into a neighbor's garden on a different street, on Lancaster Avenue.
Okay.
The prosecution said it amounted to an Ife family false imprisonment kit.
So that's what they were using to hold him down?
Yeah. Like, it seems like when they called the cops and they realized, like, maybe they
Right.
packed up all the shit and they, like, put it in a book bag and, like, threw it, in over the fence in the neighbor's yard or something.
Right.
Kenneth, the father, told jurors during the trial that he ordered his sons to take shifts and gave them permission to use overwhelming force to restrain their brother. He insisted that he was not associated with any cults or any secret societies, and that his ancestry did not play any role in his son's death. So the family was from, like,
Transylvania?
no, they were from Africa. So,
okay.
so I guess people were like, "Oh, crazy, like Africans," but they were actually like a Christian, like a Jesus church. Like, they weren't like,
So they
you know,
were
some
like-
African religion that nobody had ever heard of. They were just
Like Santeria or
no,
something
they were just
that?
like
Okay.
Christian, like.
They were just Catholic.
Yeah, they weren't Catholic. They were like part of this like weird Christian church. Like, it feels evangelical.
Okay,
maybe,
got it.
You know.
Okay. Yeah.
The jury would deliberate on the family's guilt for 4 days, longer than he was actually even in custody. And in the end, every single family member that participated in this exorcism
Right.
was cleared of all charges.
I'm confused. What did he really have? It was
What do
just
you
like they couldn't determine what he really had.
No, because he was beaten to death and he dehydrated. I mean, he died of heart failure. He didn't die of being possessed by a snake-like demon.
Right.
You know what I mean? He died of heart failure from the exorcism.
That is so.
And everybody was cleared. Everyone. The mom, the dad, all 5 brothers.
So nobody saw any time.
Not one person.
for this killing.
Nope. So while some of these like horror movies that have been inspired by these exorcism that have chilled us to the bone for years and years, unfortunately they're like real people who've lost their lives in like seriously tragic and scary ways. Like like the thought of like your family, the people you trust,
Oh my god!
holding
Turning
you
on-
down.
Yes.
not feeding you, not giving you water,
Yeah.
beating you, saying crazy things that you're just like, you have to be. And probably the point that got you there is that you are having a mental break or you're mentally ill in some way. Like,
Right.
you know, they don't just,
And you need help.
you need help. It's probably the scariest, just like tragic way to like, because it's like, these are people you trust, especially
Right.
when it's like, you know, the pastor from their church is coming and like members of the church were showing up and
Right, right. To me, it feels like the Salem witch hunts. You know what I mean? Like where, like no matter what you say, you're still gonna be wrong because they've made up their minds with their fucking crazy
Right.
ideas about you.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? So, and it also makes me think like, you know, in the old days where like people would have epilepsy or whatever and they thought that it was like demonic possession.
right,
or something.
absolutely, yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, like these people need your help. And you're thinking, you know, because you're superstitious and you're thinking,
Right.
you know, you're believing this thing. Oh, it's just sin.
You know
It's
what-
just such a sin.
And this was in 2016, right?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, this wasn't like, you know, before we knew, and I mean, he didn't have a seizure or anything, but could you imagine back in like, you know, the 1300s or something, and someone had a
Yes.
seizure, probably scared the shit out of people.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
like, for this to happen in 2016, how
Right.
isolated were these people?
They're in fucking London in one of the most richest
That's
areas.
insane.
Their house was 1.3 million pounds.
Oh
like
my God.
they lived in like, if you look in the neighborhood, whatever they lived in, it's like this beautiful, the
Yeah.
crime is really low. Like these are not isolated people. These are not some weird.
No, these are
like,
people that can afford to live in London.
Yeah, these are this is a doctor and his like children who, you know, his son is he's an IT specialist. These kids like all went
my
away to
God.
college. These are smart, educated people in a very rich This is not
so
for
weird.
lack of... Yeah, it's very
so
strange.
weird.
It's so strange. And all 7 of them get off.
Wow.
All like cleared of all charges, not even like committed lesser crime, because one of the crimes was like causing the death of a vulnerable person.
Right.
They did that.
Right.
Like
That's exactly what they did.
regardless if you had the best intentions, a vulnerable person died in your care.
Right.
That in and of itself should have stuck, but it didn't. None of it.
No.
Cleared of all charges.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah. That's weird. I mean, the thing that weirds me out the most is the year that it happened in, and like the level of education of the people.
Right.
Cindy?
No, I was gonna say Cindy's like wildly quiet because she doesn't like ghost talk, exorcism stuff, but
No, I'm just always surprised by the mentality of people and religion, and thinking this is not just an illness, and just going to such extremes always kind of shocks me.
yeah. I mean, there is something to be said about and this is like not just about exorcisms, right? This is religion, organized religion in general.
Okay.
Is so like the individual and the group will like glomp onto this idea, and they just like will not fucking let it go, no matter what. Like they get this like thought in their fucking head.
You know what
and
that
they're just
reminds me of? You know those group hysterias? Mass hysterias.
Yeah.
We did an episode on mass hysterias.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah. Like if you want to go back, like we did an episode when we were wine dine and story time, and we did a mass hysteria thing where you had like laughing nuns or was it dancing nuns?
It was like no, it was laughing nuns, and then there was like a dancing craze
where like a whole town just
people were like
danced to
meowing
death.
and shit. Yeah.
So we did a bunch of mass hysteria stories, and that shit is like, it catches like wildfire.
It's catchy, yeah. It's catchy. But it is like, it's so fascinating to me, like how, like how does this happen where all 5 brothers and the parents will like tag team against one member of the family? Like what the fuck happened there?
Yeah.
Like what was going on?
It's the power of suggestion, man.
Or is it the power of like, you know, having parents who were overbearing, and it sounded like the whole family lived there, so like together. So it's like it's hard because there's not a lot of like information on the dynamic of the family or like what the fuck is happening there. Probably because they were found not guilty, which like
the brain is an enigma.
It's suggestible, certainly.
Yeah, and mostly in religion, I feel.
Yeah, and I think like with religion, in my experience, is like most of the time people are just looking for something. You know, looking to fill a void, looking to appease a hole, or like looking for answers or trying to find something.
Yeah.
And so religion, you know, those people, and me included, of course, like I do it with therapy, I do it with yoga, I do it with fucking crystal readings in the mall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're all looking for somebody to like tell us everything is going to be okay, right? Or we're all looking for someone to tell us how to
guidance.
To guide us through this thing, or make life easier, or make life more pleasurable. And so like you are primed for someone to take advantage of you, or
people just want an explanation for when shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
Or when shit isn't going right, and they just want something else to blame.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, right? You don't want to like look inward.
No, nobody wants to look inward.
Yeah, but I'm asking you to look inward. Follow this podcast, subscribe so you don't miss out.
Yeah.
Hopefully come back next week.
Yeah, come back every week.
Right.
Come back all the time.
I'm also calling on you to buy merch. Subscribe to Patreon.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, buy us a coffee through our Buy Me a Coffee link.
You should absolutely subscribe to Patreon, because we are going on a little trip that you should come and watch all happen live.
Exactly. And if you can't, you know, because you're just not there spiritually, you're just not sure we're the real true crime podcast, write a review.
At least.
And share with someone. I mean, it's if you are a good person, it's what you would do.
If you were a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a bad person and you won't do these things.
Maybe you are a bad person.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Yeah. If you need convincing, you can connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I think
all the
that's everything.
socials,
yeah,
everything.
Like all those things. check you out next week. And remember, do not get taken to the second location. Be good or be good at hiding a body. Cheers.
Cheers. Are you okay? Jesus Christ. Fucking loud. You're disgusting and I hate you both. Oh, God. I'm crying. Oh, my God. And holding my pee because I almost fucking peed myself.